right, welcome to Live from my office. This is actually our second podcast. It's called Anything But Politics because it's a break therapeutically we all need, as does the lovely, the talented Carole Dibo, the proud proprietor, the founder, the queen of Wilmette, and the engine behind the Actors Training Center. We'll talk about that in a second, and the coolest fundraiser I've seen in a long time. But how are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Are you ready for the holidays?
No, never. I have the whole crew coming in for Thanksgiving. You know, just got back from a week of grandparenting in Brooklyn. And then, everybody comes in. I'm going to have 3 dogs at my house.
Well, Thanksgiving is supposed to be nuts.
3 granddaughters, a pregnant daughter. Going to be great. It's going to be great.
Who is the one that's most likely to throw a bomb in the middle of the festivities? The fight starter, because you don't really have, to my knowledge, the dysfunctional family member who only shows up at Thanksgiving.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, everybody's kind of on their best behavior.
Good.
Because they know I can't take it.
Good.
They know I don't deserve it.
Well, see, that's the most important part.
I don't deserve this. I'll be prepping for beds will be made. There's new toys in the playroom. That my chocolate chip banana bread will be ready. They know. You're
like
better.
The Energizer Bunny. You're just not going to stop.
No, not until I drop over. Probably, it's the truth.
All right. Well, God bless the work you're going to do and the work you're doing now.
And bless my children for behaving.
Happy holidays to all. All right. So let's talk about the state of show business for a second. You've been teaching actors forever. You're an actress, and you've been teaching actors forever. And some very big stars, some of the biggest young stars in the business, got their start with you. And there'd be no Mrs. Maisel without you.
There would not.
You created the young woman who became Mrs. Maisel. There's a great show now. Is it Netflix where Boots is?
Yeah, Netflix is streaming Boots, which is just an incredibly different, refreshing show about
100%.
2 young buddies who decide to join the Marines. It is amazing. And one of my longtime students, Liam O, has co-stars in it. And he's amazing. The whole cast is amazing. The premise is amazing. And I talked to Liam a couple of weeks ago, and I said, so when did you find out you booked this? Understand that Liam was more of a musical theater actor when he was with us. He was in our musical theater division, and he was actually doing a show at Writers Theater, musical. And at intermission, his agents called and said that he booked this TV show. And
it's tremendous.
It's amazing.
And he's great in it.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's great in it. The whole cast is great.
That's just a couple examples because the thing that I love about the Actors Training Center that you've created and helmed all these years. That's the only time I've ever used the word helmed on this show.
It was impressive.
I always felt like, you help these young folks reach their dreams, but you help everybody reach their dream, even if their dream is just, I always wanted to be able to do this. I always wanted to do community theater. I always wanted to speak in front of a crowd without panicking. I always wanted to do whatever. And I hope you feel good about that because you really do change lives that way.
You know, I think it's not just in the acting world. I think a lot of young people who have come through here in the last 19 years have found their way. Look, I have one student. She was an amazing actress, then worked in casting, and now she owns a wait, my earbud just fell out.
That's
she
no
owns a rescue for animals in California.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's very cool. So in the midst of all of this, the business, of course, has changed dramatically. But it's mostly the delivery method. Good acting is still good acting. Getting better at it is still getting better at it. Or has your job changed completely because of this as well?
My job has definitely changed. Since COVID, pretty much every first round audition is a taped audition that you send into casting. As opposed to when I was beating the streets, you went in, you did your audition, and if you were terrible, you just blew it. But everything is first round is taped. So if you're auditioning even for 3 lines, let's say on Chicago Med, you do it in your studio, or most of our students tape here. and you send it in. The upside to that is you can keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until you feel like you've got the right take, as opposed to the pre-COVID, where
Yeah,
if
your
you
one
went
shot
in
deal in a table
one
in front of
shot,
some
and
people.
either they
Yeah.
were interested enough to say, hey, can you try it like this, or you were out the door. So yeah, it's just not the same. And for casting director friends of mine, they can look at a couple hundred tapes, and as opposed to just seeing maybe 50, 60 actors, they can see a whole lot more talent that way. But you have to be able to knock it out of the park in the first 5 seconds, because
Right.
then they could just go next, next, next. So it's different pressures. But yeah, we've had to really have classes now on how to self-tape. How do you
Well,
do it? How do you
and
pop that tape in the first couple minutes? Like, how do you do that?
but to me, it takes away, like when I did 5 movies, yeah, 5 movies in the early '90s, and they're all 1 and 2 line deals. But in each case, the people that I ended up working with on these films, they all said the same thing. Now, granted, I came in as somebody with a public profile and all that, so maybe I had a leg up. But they all said the same thing. They all said, we need to find out if we want to work with you.
Right.
The acting in a 1 or 2 or 3 line part is not going to sink or make the movie. But do we want you hanging around the set all day, or are you going to be a huge pain in the ass? You can't teach that to somebody when they're sending in a tape. So isn't there a roll of the dice on the other end now that they may get a couple of
Well,
nudges?
I can teach that, because we do teach that. We teach that
Teach them how to
in
behave.
we teach them that everything counts. This is a supply versus demand business, right? So there's way more actors than there are jobs. So everything counts. We do a lot of youth training, and we tell the parents, you can lose a job for your kid so fast. If you're a pain in the ass, you're out. Your kid's out. If you're asking too many questions, if you're asking for too many things, it's just you're out. You're out. So we do teach that if you're in our classes. And generally we don't tape auditions for people if they haven't come through the studio, because it's a luxury to have a professional, you know, studio, which we have, and professional actors to coach you through that. But that's an important thing. Yeah. If casting or agents get wind that you're high maintenance, you're out.
And the thing that people don't understand is it takes a lot of those little one-step deals before you get to the bigger deal. It's very rare when someone like the actor you mentioned is a musical theater guy and he nails an audition and he gets it. Thus, that's why the training is needed, and that's why the reps are needed, and that's why you need to have someone like you, Carole. I don't know anybody better, obviously, but somebody who can look at you and say, "Do this, don't do that. Do more of
Yeah.
this, do less of that." So when kids come to you, they're far from fully formed. They're barely formed.
Yeah.
Do you see something in a kid that says this is a path for them as opposed to another kid that maybe needs a different direction?
Yeah. I mean, there is a thing about that it factor that's hard to put words behind, but generally it is a focus and a hunger to find authenticity, even in the youngest kids in their work. They can feel when they're not there, when they're not being
Sure.
authentic. They can feel it. So yes, there is that it factor, but yet I've had kids come along, and once they're with like-minded kids, as opposed to being, like, say, in their high school, or where there's kids who are as committed to wanting to try this as they are, that they all just sort of rise to the occasion, and they rise to the level that the whole class is working in. Which is why if a kid takes a class with us, they don't automatically move up a level. We watch each student that we have, and we'll say, we need to move you to improv because you're watching yourself too much. So
Sure.
let's take an improv class this time. Or, we're teaching a class now. It's called The Authentic Actor, and I start teaching it tomorrow night. We've had another teacher teach it through scene work the first 6 weeks. Now I'm taking over and teaching it through monologue. But how that authenticity is very hard to teach, and you have to have an actor, no matter how young or old, that is open to bearing themselves to be authentic.
Is that
If that
different
makes
than
sense.
yeah, of course it is. Is that different than commitment? Because commitment to a part, commitment to like doing stand-up comedy. I've got a show coming up this weekend. You have to commit to what you're doing on stage. In other words, if you don't believe it, why would you expect the audience to believe it? And the audience, no matter whether they're savvy to show business or not, can see through bullshit from, 100 miles away.
Yeah, they can, and they can't necessarily articulate what it is they're seeing that isn't working, but they can sense it. Yes, it's commitment, it's playing it fully, but honestly, right? It's not talking louder, it's not screaming, it's not crying, it's the ability to bring up the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's the commitment that I look for when I'm teaching acting. I always say about substituting. So you're doing a scene where your grandmother died, but no, you've never lost anybody. You're a kid. You still have everybody. But you had a best friend that moved away that you're still not over.
Sure.
So the feeling is loss. It's not whether it's a death of a grandmother or is it a loss. And then once you get to the young actor to understand what loss feels like, they're no longer saying, well, I haven't had a grandmother that died. I can't play this. Mm-hmm. So I think it is commitment, but it's also commitment to the authenticity is what I would come to.
I think you said this to me. I know others have said it as well, but great acting is like pretending when you're a little kid. Little kids have this brilliant imagination, and they can be anything at any time.
Yeah.
And they're committed, and they're truthful in the moment. I mean, you tell a little kid that's playing a part that they're not who they say they are, they're going to get pissed off because, yes, they are. They're all in. At what age do we lose that? Do you ever think about that? At what age do we suddenly stop?
Oh, I can tell you exactly when. It's somewhere around 9, like the tweens, the 9. And it's getting earlier and earlier because kids are exposed to so much more. So they become a little tainted earlier. I would say 9, 10, you start to see them watching. Honestly, if there's boys in the class, it has an effect on the girls.
So that's when you start thinking about what other people think as opposed
what are they
to just
thinking of? Yep.
Being in your head in a good way, the imagination part.
Exactly. I mean, I remember I always say to the kids and especially the teenagers, if you come in trying to be her, but they're looking for you, she's going to get the job because she's who she is. So if you're I had a kid recently say, I'm not so nerdy anymore. I'm working out and I'm looking good. And I'm like, yeah, but you're still a nerd. And that's awesome. Because
embrace it.
Embrace it. That's your branding. When I finally realized that I was never going to be that tennis mom, when I, between being 5 feet tall and all this hair and not looking like a woman who's going to be on a tennis court, I started booking more. I was kind of the crazy best friend. And then once you say, all right, well, I'm never going to play tennis with these ladies. I didn't want to anyway. But once you embrace who you are, for kids, think about how freeing that is. So when any kid comes here to train, it's really about, the first thing is about getting them to celebrate who they are. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
That's it. And like, we have really beautiful young girls, blonde, beautiful. And I'm like, you're always going to get cast as the bitch. You're just going to.
That's the path.
Yeah.
Or your lane, I should say.
Yes. Yeah. You're always going to get over it. Everybody is who they are. And God, wouldn't it be great if it was me, 50 years ago, somebody told me to just be who I was? That would have been amazing.
It's funny. It's funny too, because the bias of appearance, that makes you the bitch or that makes you the best friend or that makes you, the delivery guy, whatever the case may be. We're recording this on November 10th, and we're just coming off the weekend, and weekend box office numbers don't mean anything anymore. But Sydney Sweeney, arguably the it girl right now, just did a dramatic part where she plays this, and it's a great life story of this woman who was a boxer that saved her life. But they had to ugly her up for this thing, rough her up, make her look differently, and the movie tanked, like epically tanked.
Oh, it did. Wow.
So if you take the girl that's the hot girl who has embraced being the hot girl and suddenly hit the brakes and go, no, she's the serious actress girl over here. She's not the rom-com girl. That's a tough transition. And, it's like Matthew McConaughey, right? Matthew McConaughey took a couple of films before he went from rom-com to the dramatic guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's just the audience doesn't go, okay, I'm ready for that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm buying it.
I mean, I still see Tom Hanks in movies where I may not be familiar with a movie completely, and I go in and I think, well, it's going to be a Tom Hanks thing. It's going to be fun, and it's maybe not a fun part.
Yeah, he's really crossed over, hasn't he? He's really crossed over. I think Jennifer Aniston has done a good job of that
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
done a really good job of that. But that takes courage, man.
And it
That
takes
takes
time.
time and courage and trust, but you have to get to a certain level in this industry for them to let you do that.
It's a great point because I don't look at Jennifer Aniston and go, well, that's Rachel. I
No,
look at
not
Jennifer Aniston and go, that's the part.
yep.
That's whoever that character is, and you buy it, you believe it. So that's the
You
key.
believe it, and that's her job, and she does it really well. So if we can start them early, like, and the other thing that happens here that's just, I think I'm the most proud of, is that I always call it sort of the land of misfit toys over here,
Uh-huh.
because there's not everybody's playing soccer and the girls are in doing this and that, but they come here and everybody's like them in that they want to play. They want to figure this out. They want to develop this side of themselves. And lifelong friendships are made. Started here.
That's pretty
And
cool.
my students are in their 20s and almost 30s now. There's some of them that like, oh yeah, I keep up with this one. Oh, I just did a reading for this guy. He just finished a play and he asked us to do a reading for him. So everybody that leaves here has their network as they move on,
That's
which
special.
is so special.
So the Actors Training Center has tons and tons of different programs and tons of different things you can do. The best thing to do is go browse the website, right?
Yeah, yeah. Everything's up. Actually, all our winter and summer is up already. Every year it's earlier. We're pushing this stuff out. And most of the summer stuff sells out very quickly because we're the one place where you're going to come and get like hardcore training in the summer. It's not camp. You're going to be training. Kids are making films. They're um, working on a showcase for agents and casting directors, the older kids. So it's intense. It's like insane here in the summer.
Yeah, and
Insanity.
the thing is, you do one program and then you're going to need to do another and another because it's all about the reps. Anything in
Yep.
life is. Anything you do well in life, it's all about the reps.
Which is what I say to a lot of people who aren't auditioning or working. It's like being a football player and sitting on the bench, and then the coach calls you in, but you haven't been to practice in a month. You're going to tank. You're going to suck. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
not in class and you're not working and you're not auditioning, and then you get an audition, you're not in shape. You're not warmed up. It's so similar to being an athlete. I mean, even if I haven't taught for a while, I'll be like, oh, okay, wait, I got to get my head in the game. Even for me, and I've been doing this for 40 years,
Right,
teaching.
right.
And if I haven't taught in a while, like I start teaching tomorrow night, I'm already prepping. Okay, I'm going to do this, and then once I get in there, it's like, poof, I fly. But I'm always aware that I'm not up to speed if I haven't taught in a while.
Yeah, well, and as I mentioned, the stand-up thing, tickets available, I think, at ParamountAurora.com, Saturday, the 15th of November. I haven't done stand-up since New Year's Eve, and here we are in November.
How you feeling about it?
It's fine. I get wound up and tight, and then once I get on stage, it's great. But it's
So
not.
are you working it? Like, are you
Yeah,
working it?
yeah.
You are.
Pick a material and all that.
Yeah.
And because of my ADD, I don't like to repeat stuff forever. There's a few jokes I've done since the '80s, but
Hmm.
no, there's a lot of new stuff, So, but it's interesting,
It's
and I think
it's
it's part of the
it's
excitement.
interesting, yeah. And I think that for what you do you get nervous before you go on?
Yeah, I hate the before going on part. Once I'm
Well,
out there, I'm fine.
you have
You
to
know,
be
it's,
nervous, but that's
yeah,
what I always say. If you're not nervous, then you're not aware of the stakes.
yeah.
If you're not aware of the stakes, you're going to tank. You should always be nervous. Even if you're doing 8 shows a week on Broadway, you should
You
be
should always
nervous.
care. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
quit
you
being
should.
nervous, that's a signal to get out.
Exactly. And you're
So,
amazing in stand up. I've seen you a bunch of
well, thank
times.
you, thank
You're a
you, thank
funny
you.
guy. Everybody should go see you do stand up.
Well, that's very nice. We'll find out Saturday. But in the meantime, you got a fundraiser coming up. None of this is cheap, kids, because you have the best teachers who work with you.
Hmm.
You as well. You have a facility and all of that, and you're doing this in a not-for-profit world.
Hmm.
But you came up with an idea, and we were talking about this at lunch for a fundraiser, which I love. So, what is this pop-up thing you're doing?
So we're doing a pop up. Oh, of course, my screen just went blank. We're doing a pop-up shop that opens on Black Friday, and we have solicited on this pop-up shop some of the everything is so cool. We have spending a half hour on Zoom with a New York casting director, spending a half hour on Zoom with a Chicago agent. We have a boat ride for 4 watching the river dye green,
It's
which is
tremendous.
super cool. Yeah. We've got tickets to the Botanic Gardens. We with parking for the zoo for the lights. We have all these restaurants came together, so you get this one package, and you can eat at Pescadero or Napolita, Eva Dean's, all the restaurants in the area.
So it's all this experiential stuff.
It's more experiential. Yeah, there's no manicures, no none of that.
It's really cool.
We have tickets to the Joffrey, tickets to Shakespeare, tickets to Steppenwolf. Like, I called in every favor I have.
Well, it's
as
tremendous.
Did my team. Yeah. But it's cool, and it's open to anybody. That's what's cool about it.
Right. You don't have to be affiliated. You don't have to be taking
Mm-mm.
classes. But it's cool because you can buy into this, and also obviously if you get it, and hopefully you do, this is not just an important piece of Wilmette. This is an important piece of Chicago acting, Chicago theater, Chicago productions. So it's all virtual. You go online to
you go online
make
if you
your bid?
can. You go online. You can go onto actorstrainingscenter.com, and you'll see where the link is, and it launches the day after Thanksgiving. But how cool is it if you want to go in a boat and watch the river turn green,
Right.
or go to the Botanic Garden lights with parking? That's not easy to get.
No.
And it's just so many theaters were able to. And if you have a lot of questions about the business, talk to my friend Marisa, who's an agent who donated a half hour.
How about that?
PR Casting in Chicago offered a half hour. You want to understand how they work their casting office for 32 years? You can talk to Mickey and Jen for 30 minutes of
That's
PR
great.
casting. Yeah, I mean, these are things you won't get anywhere else.
Did you say there's an on-set experience too?
I was working on it. I didn't close it yet.
Okay, still could happen.
If I didn't close it, it can't be closed.
I've never seen anybody say no to you. So there could still be that. But in the meantime, it's just a long list of great stuff. And your money is going to go to a great thing. And that is making sure that the future actors and actresses are going to continue to get trained to be the best they can be and see their dreams realized.
And what I think is important also, Steve, to mention is that we don't turn anybody away.
Yeah.
So if that's the other part, we give out quite a bit of money every year in scholarships. No kid should ever be turned away because they don't have the finances to take class here. Totally so we're training, every penny goes into, running the place, paying the teachers, paying for our offices and where we perform. But it also is so many of our kids have come from less than, and they need the opportunity as well.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of that. Very proud of that.
No, as you should be. It's the Actors Training Center. It's in Wilmette. And if you go to actorstrainingscenter.com, all the information is there. Don't wait around if you want to sign up for some of these classes. Oh, what a great Christmas gift.
Ooh.
So look ahead to 2026 and do something there and sign up that way. But anyway, I know you got to start cooking for Thanksgiving, so I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you doing this.
Thanks for having me, pal.
And thanks for being on. And we'll do it again. It's Carole Dibo. Carole Plus here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's show business.
It's show business. I'm feeling the love. I'm all
you are.
Well, I'm all Twitter-pated right now.
Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, it's tremendous.
Oh, you're easy to talk to.
All right, hang on one second. You and I are going to do the ending together because Ross puts it together.
Okay.
Well, that was Carole Dibo, who is still with me here on YouTube if you're watching or listening wherever. And I thought you might want to say something to Ross Cochran, who you taught as a young actor. Ross produces this, and this is the part where we say thank you to him for the production.
Ross, my little student from 2000. Well, you were never little. You were a tall student from 2007.
Oh, man. 2007? Wow.
2007. Yeah. He was one of the first in that summer. So, Ross, you could have been a contender. If you ever want to come back, I got you.
Right. Well, listen, the stuff he's doing now is an offshoot of what you taught him then and everything else. Because
My point, right? Ross is a great example.
nobody's better with a crowd than Ross, and he actually likes people more than I do.
Yeah, I
Did
don't
I
like
say that
people
out
anymore.
loud? What?
Ross, I miss you. I have to see you soon.
There you go. All right. Thanks, buddy. And thanks you,
Ross,
for listening and watching to Live from My Office.
Thank you for listening to Live from My Office, a service of Monkey Run Productions. All rights reserved. The podcast is hosted by Steve Cochran, and it's mixed, edited, and produced by me, Ross Cochran. Steve is available for corporate speaking gigs. He would love to MC your event, and occasionally, he's funny. Thank you for listening. Head to cochranshow.com for more.